A year in October 2015, I had heart surgery, open heart surgery, and they replaced 2 heart valves. And I was also in a relationship that's pretty, as Joe put it, from what I've learnt, incoherent, very heavy, lots of this energy. So it's not fair to talk too much about the other person, but I suppose a lot of blame went into this thing. And so when I thought I am recovering from this heart surgery, I'm still involved in this relationship that is getting stronger and stronger, and I don't know why I can't walk away. And so while I think I'm very spiritual, I'm doing all this work, and I think, oh yeah, I'm healing, I'm going through this process, what I'm not aware of is that this involvement in this relationship of incoherence is actually having an effect on me at the time. I didn't realize. So as I've come to learn now with the work and learning about what Joe is teaching, my systems started to break down. First it was high blood pressure, which when you've had heart surgery and 2 valves removed is, for the cardiologist, not so cool because they worry about clots and strokes, which you don't want to think about, but it's for them, it's their little outside worry. So then I think, okay, I'm doing yoga every day, so I start to do my practice in yoga to try and deal with it, and okay, it had some effect. And then after that, I noticed my eyes always swelling up, and obviously the need to know rather than run to the doctor, look on the internet. And I had a feeling that it was to do with my thyroid, swollen face, all of these things. But I really was living in hardcore survival. After heart surgery, it's just not normal to do that to yourself. And I didn't realize I was doing it. So then I thought, okay, it'd been quite a while since I had my blood checked, so I went to the doctor, and he checked my blood values, and then I sort of go back in there. Always my liver reading was always a little bit too high, and he discovered at some point in my life I had hepatitis C, which I didn't know about, but it's possible that you have it and you don't know. So it was always the number for this enzyme that's too high is 100, and so it was a little bit, okay, I'll leave it like this. And then I went and he checked again, and it had gone up from 100 in 1 year to 226. So now I'm sitting in front of him, and at the same time he tells me, so you have high blood pressure and now your thyroid is actually not working properly. I just took a breath and I left the surgery, and I was really like here on the floor. And then I had been seeing a lot of the time Joe Dispenza's name, but it was in the background, and I actually, it just every time, who the hell is this guy? On Facebook or wherever, and it just was always in the back, and I'm always intrigued. But it said, I always associated it with Germany, and I thought, oh, he's probably going to speak German. It's pointless paying attention to who he is anyway. And then I had a dream. I dreamt that I was in Basel, and I was like, why Basel? What? I've never been there. It's a bizarre dream. So I woke up that morning with this thought, and then a voice came out of nowhere and went, whoosh, Joe Dispenza. And then I thought, who the hell is this guy? So I'm in bed, I open my phone, and I Google Joe Dispenza. It comes up, and I said, oh shit, he's the guy on What the Bleep Do We Know? I watched that film years ago. I was like, since 20 chanting Namyo Horenge Kyo, I'm 53 now. Since 20 chanting Namyo Horenge Kyo, Kabbalah, I'm a spiritualist, I do yoga every day, I taught yoga, I'm a singer, but I've done shaman, drunk ayahuasca, the whole spectrum. I had to stop reading because I just absorbed so much spiritual stuff. But yet my life just was like this in a circle, always in debt. Though I'm performing concerts, and I think my work is I give a lot to people, and but always in debt, in a relationship that's really heavy, and like a circle. I called up Basler. I realized this was the story. I realized he was coming to Berlin and 10 minutes from where I lived, which for me is like a miracle. I live in Friedrichshain in Berlin. I was like, what? He's not German. I can understand. He's from the movie, What the Bleep, and it's going to be 10 minutes. So I thought, you know what, just call and see if you can book the course without paying. So they said, yeah, we'll send you a bill. And I printed the bill and put it on my desk. And so I downloaded the online course, and I just started to do the work straight away. I'm brutal like this. I want to see it working immediately. So I really realized I was a bit desperate. And so I started doing the work and listening a lot to Joe Dispenza, really repeating everything and listening over and over again until it was beginning to sink in. Because when I watched the movie What the Bleep, I understood it, but I couldn't connect how I make it work. And the one meditation he does is about breaking addiction and emotional. And then I started to understand, oh my God, in this relationship, this is what it is. This is the first point, not looking at the physical, that my connection in this heavy stuff. So it was like an addiction. Why couldn't I walk away from it? Why do I keep going back? And then it's an explosion and going back and an explosion and not asking, why can't I walk away from it? Obviously there's love there, but it was not right. And then he speaks a lot about when you're in survival mode, how your systems start to break down, the glands, and all of these things. And it was all the same for me: high blood pressure, thyroid, and then my liver reading. This was quite powerful to have these realizations just by doing the first meditations and listening, like, oh my God, I can see the pattern of why your life has been going like this in a circle. And so I thought the first thing I want to do is deal with this liver reading and my blood values. I wanted to see what divine mind, how real it was. So I said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to do it more than 2 months. I'm going to do 3 months, and I'm going to see how Joe's teaching is working for me. I'm going to do the work. That's all I hear him say. Do the work, do the work, do the work. So I saw my blood value, my inflammation at 0, blood pressure knocked, thyroid knocked on the head. And with the liver reading, I'd asked him, what's a normal reading? And he said, for this enzyme that was out of whack, that was worrying him, he said 49. Mine was 226. So I said, okay. And I remember Joe Dispenza saying that divine mind had a sense of humor. And one day I was in the toilet, and suddenly this picture of my liver as a woman, they call it Shi in Chinese medicine, she was like a gold color and smiling, and then out of her mouth comes a fist, psh, with number 49. And that made me laugh. But that kept me going when I got a little down. And I just persisted in doing, sometimes for 2 hours in the morning before I got out of bed, going into this space and seeing myself taking the blood value 3 months. I gave myself longer than he did. I extended my timeline. And seeing this number, 49, 0 inflammation, no blood pressure, thyroid. And but I just kept going inward, and I felt inside that I was getting better, and I just kept doing the meditation. Then finally I go back and, okay, it's been work. And I was told my thyroid was okay and my liver was okay now, the reading. And I was like, okay, that's something. I was very excited because I was very nervous when I picked up the phone. But I did ask her, I said, okay, what's my liver reading? And she didn't give me the answer I wanted, but it had 49 in it. She said it's gone to 149. So it had gone down 86%, which for me, that I have a little control on myself, was enough to say that your liver's okay. I knew that the progressive wasn't going to be enough because I'm a bit brutal, and I'd already seen so much of the online. I figured that the progressive was going to be real life, but still very similar to what I'd heard. And I thought, I know I have work to do, so I'm going to go. That's the sum total of where I am. And so I made it. Okay, I didn't get this. I've tried to visualize the 2,000 euros to make it easy. It didn't come this way, but it's managed that I've done it out of nothing. I managed to get here to do this advanced course to further change my life. So the results for me have that I did the work, and I start stepping out of survival mode into another space, which is instantly much better. I finished writing my album, so I have achieved something great. And my blood value changed on my liver, my thyroid went down, my blood pressure went down, and I feel whole.